the Downtown Business Club, hosted by the Downtown Improvement District.
The Downtown Business Club, we've taken some different twists and turns over the last year. We've done tours, we have done informational sessions, we've had some projects. Actually, at the time, it was the Handing of Bean skyline with the ash project. Well attended here at the library, and our intent is to do these more regularly, do them once a month, and we'll more than likely do them here at the library. It's such a great facility. They've taken good care of us over the years. This particular one, we're going to start to tape them so that they can be on public access, and we'll also be able to put them on our YouTube channel. So I just wanted to kick off here, introduce Stephen Bailey with Detailed Web Design. Stephen is a contractor, social media contractor for the Downtown Improvement District. And you know, I've been around a while, and one thing about when you start going up in the years, you have a nice frame of reference for people that you meet and interface with, and business people. Well, Stephen is one of these people that is really a very impressive, diligent, intelligent, and trustworthy type of person. And that's the bar that I like to measure. People that you can trust and people that you can count on. He's actually a contractor for us that does a fantastic job. He's grown our social media, our Facebook, to 21,000 in a little over 2 years. He really knows his stuff. So I'm really excited about the fact that Stephen's been able to program this. He provided the food. He's really done quite a job. So he's going to let you know how to connect in a way that he does a good job of not talking over your head. I can understand what he says, understand how it all integrates. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Stephen Bailey with Detailed Web Design for Social Media 101.
Hello, thank you so much for coming. I can't believe how many people showed up. I really appreciate it. Looks like that whole free food thing kind of paid off. Today we are going to talk about Social Media 101. I've made a whole lot of notes and I'm going to try to keep it incredibly basic. I was actually scratching out a lot of things because I don't want to go too far into it. I feel like I could talk all week on this topic. So today we are going to talk about Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. What's listed below are other things that I do: Tumblr, YouTube, Constant Contact, MailChimp. Those are definitely things to consider. And also LinkedIn, and then Pinterest and Google I actually never touch, so we're not going to talk about those today. I just kind of wanted to put a point of reference of what I see going on out there. These are probably your mainstream items. Yeah, we'll just jump off there. Okay, so first of all, Facebook. The biggest thing that I've really learned is that Facebook is free, and I don't think a lot of people understand what that really means. It means it's completely free, 24/7. It's always working for you. I had a client about 1.5 years ago that came to me, and they showed me a budget that they were spending with a local newspaper company to put ads in every other week, and they showed me the dollar amount, and I was like, dropped my mouth open, like it was crazy. The thing about that is we decided to go to their website, and we got people to come to the website organically through Google, and then we set them up with social media. And within 3 months, they had all their apartments rented, they had more website traffic than they ever had before, and they didn't have to use their newspaper ads anymore. And they were saving literally tens of thousands of dollars every year by putting a few $100 into using something that's completely free. So we're going to jump into that today. I'm just going to give you a quick overview. The great thing about Facebook also is that everybody's doing it, even if nobody's admitting to it. Whether you're standing in line for lunch or you're in your car and you're not supposed to be texting and driving, and probably half of us are still doing it at stoplights. It's that thing that everybody's doing all the time. We're doing it right before we go to bed. It's become this social substance that's almost attached to our right arm. So, you know, a newspaper, I feel like, is evolving and people are changing with it, but print is something that people are coming to terms with, and how it affects us, and how it's not being used anymore the way it was before. Same with billboards, same with print materials, things that you get in mailers in the mail. Facebook is 24/7. Even after you post something, it's always going to be there. I can go back and see what I was doing a week ago. I can go back and see what I was talking about a month ago. Okay. So we're going to talk about business profiles. This is just for business. We're not going to talk about personal Facebook today. The first thing is to make sure you have a clear, relevant, and current profile picture, which is this guy right here, followed by a profile picture that is relevant and changes semi-never. So the thing at the top where you see the skyline of downtown Fort Wayne, I would say that that's something that you can change regularly, but does not have to be all the time. Whereas your profile picture is something that you want to almost never change. You want to brand your company, your business, and then you want to keep that consistent. Ever since I've been on board with the DID, they've used this logo as their branding. So we've kept it the same. We use it on all of the social media items that we do on the website. Everything is consistent. So when people are strolling through their news feeds and they see this, I think a lot of us are visual and we come across something and we get used to it and we expect something from it. We know what it's going to give us. So that blue, green, logo is just something that you guys can come to expect when you see that visually, what's going to come with it. Whereas if it changes every day, you're kind of messing with your brand a little bit. Okay, have a profile that has detailed, basic, relevant information about your business that connects to your website. On the left-hand side, you'll be able to see like addresses. At the tab by timeline, there's something called About, and that's going to give you information about your company, about your website, where you're located. It's going to give you the opportunity to do like a paragraph or a blurb about what you do best, your audience. And then there's a place for your website to connect back. So your social media, no matter what it is, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everything should go back to a baseline website. Like, I really believe that your website should be your baseline. And even if you're not updating it every day, if you're not updating it every month, or maybe it's something you don't update every year, but it's a solid presence where people know, okay, this is where it starts. This is where the company's everything is. It's got your basic information. It's got who you are. It's got your contact information. It's got your hours. It's got what you sell, what you do best, everything somebody needs to know about you. That's your base. Your social media is supposed to give your base like wings. It's supposed to expose the business in a way where it's interactive and personable and shows people the full 100% dimensional aspects of it. So no matter what profile you're working on, you always want that to come back to your website. Yeah. Yeah, could you say that to me a little bit? You want to come up here?
Yeah. I was just curious about if you have like a business neighborhood association and you want to have a page on Facebook, when you go to create your page, you can create an open group, a closed group, or do you want it to be like a page like it's a person, or do you want it to be a company page? So I was just curious of what would be the best route for a neighborhood association or business association.
Yeah, so basically like West Central is what comes to mind. Is that something that would be? Okay, awesome. Yeah. So make it a business page. Nobody's gonna like really come down and look at. Sure. Yeah. When you get into groups, you get into privacy issues, you get into exclusion instead of inclusion. I would say that a business page, if your whole point is to promote, business page is the way to go. And then you can always make events that are private if you want, and selectively have things that are maybe just for homeowner associations or things like that nature. Yeah. Okay, great. This right here is one of the things that we're going to talk about today that I would say if you're going to take something away, this would definitely be one of the top ones. This post is from, I'm sorry this is so small, November 9th. So this was just a few days ago. We have Holly Trolley going on in downtown Fort Wayne coming up here in just a couple weeks. And I wanted to kind of piece apart what this post means, what it took to make it happen, and what will happen because of it. So let me just read through this real quick. Use a solid graphic to capture the attention of your audience. I recommend square images, 600 pixels in width. I see a lot of people putting up maybe these little itsy bitsy things that they find on Google. They're like, oh, that looks cute. And then when they put it into their Facebook, it's like 1/10 the size and it doesn't fit. And then when you're scrolling through on your iPad, it blows up and you can't even see what it is anymore. So 600 pixel width is a really good width measurement for what you want your pictures to be. On Facebook, I always tell people to gravitate more towards a square image as opposed to Twitter is more of a rectangle. We'll get into that in a minute. Have it concise and not too wordy. Give just enough information to hook your audience. So what I did here is I have 3 sentences. It says the date. It says a little bit of what's going on. It links back to downtown Fort Wayne. And you might wonder, why is downtown Fort Wayne linking to itself? Because I know that if these people share this post, the average person has like 500 friends on Facebook. So if one person shares this post and it goes into their network and they're reading that, that's one more chance that one of their friends is going to click on that and they're going to like downtown Fort Wayne. So always kind of keep that in mind, that you're not just talking to your audience, you're talking to your possible audience. And then I ended it with find out more at the link below. If you follow any of the clients that I do, find out more at the link below is pretty much standard. I put that at a lot of them because at the end of it, I will put a link back to the website like I was talking about, where it's going to be the baseline information for everything people want to know. So you have a nice graphic. It's clean. I'll also say, I remember this day, like I was walking and I took this picture. When I came on to downtown Fort Wayne, there was no picture stock of anything. So that first year I really had to hustle because when I was wanting to promote stuff, a lot of the times there wasn't anything like image-wise to go with it. So I wanted to make sure that the next year around I had all this imagery. So I was taking tons and tons of photos. And this turned out perfect. So now when we have a holly trolley, you've got the reindeer behind it, you've got a trolley, you have clearly downtown imagery, it's kind of cold out, and people get all of that in one picture. So that's something that you want to keep in mind as you're doing your own events, or if you have stuff going on at your store, you might wonder, you know, do I need a photo of this? Take it. I mean, just take it. You never know, like a year from now, it might come in really, really handy. When I took that, I was literally like walking on the edge of a step. It was a 2-second decision. I took it, and I use this photo for Holly Trolley stuff all the time. It's been really great. And then, all right, so on this photo alone, I took a screenshot of this as the admin. So at the very, very bottom here, I know this is small, it says 47,552 people reached. You won't be able to see that unless you're an admin, but I just wanted to let you know the power of one post. So I literally did this in 5 minutes, but the reason I did this in 5 minutes is because 2 years ago, I had the consciousness to take a photo knowing I would need it someday. I have taken the consciousness the first year of learning what do people want to hear, what is too much word, what is too little words, how can I connect with them best so that when I'm putting the information out there, people will click on it, will come back, and then where can I send them for more information? So I did the photo, I learned, I put out the information they needed, and then I had built out that web page and spent a decent amount of time getting that set up so I could send people back to it. So even though the post took no time at all, the setup for it was very conscious. And that's something that I feel like I can pick up on right away when I see people doing Facebook. Like, you either know if they care or they don't care, you know if there's love in it or if there's not love in it. And I really just put my everything into this stuff. So I think that's one of the things that comes through. If you don't love your products, if you don't love your audience, if you don't love what you're selling, people are going to pick up on it, even on Facebook. I mean, it just really comes through. So the cool thing that happened with this post is it reached 47,000 people, which is, I mean, that's crazy. We had 312 people share this. We had 527 people like it, and then we had comments that got cut off, which went to 35 comments. And in those comments, it was literally people tagging people saying, check this out. Do you want to go to this? This is awesome. Like, that's so great to see. And the reason why I'm saying that is because Holly Trolley, how many years have we been doing this, Frank? Are you here? Yeah, that sounds right. So every year it's been slowly picking up. This is the first year where I saw it explode. Like, if I'm seeing this right now, I know that the promotion I'm going to have leading up to it is going to be great, and we're going to have a big day, to the point where we're already talking about it at staff that with these numbers, we're probably going to have to add trolleys. And that's another great thing. You can see from what's going on Facebook, are we underselling? Are we overselling? Do we need more people? Are we staffed properly? Because this is, I really will say, what's happening on Facebook is The honest account is you're going to get close to people calling you and saying, I'm going to be there, because you're literally seeing interactions saying, do you want to go? I want to go. We should go to this. And then if you click on the Holly Charlie website, it literally links back to an event that I set up for Holly Charlie where people can RSVP, and then you have like a full circle of social media. How many of you have a business page? Could you raise your hands on Facebook? And how many are aware of, like, not that you know anything about it, but how many are aware of the term boost and what's been going on? Okay. So this has been happening in the last year. And at first I was really ticked off because I was really good at learning the system. I learned like how to get through to people and reach the audience without having to pay for crap. Like, I was so good at like, oh man, I know what it takes. I know what they want to see. I've learned them. I know what time they want me to talk. I know what they want. And then all of a sudden I hear exactly what Nancy is saying, which is I'm just not seeing it. Like, and people don't know they're not seeing it. They're just not seeing it. And so I'm paying the price for it, and we're not getting as many likes, and I have to, find ways around this. So after several months of fighting the system, I finally did my first boost. And here's the thing. Okay, so I play the game now. I just play it on my terms. So Facebook is going to have this thing at the bottom of every post, and it'll say, do you want to boost this? And I think the first time I did it, I had to put in my credit card info, and then that was done. And it's going to bill you one time a month for any boost you do. So I have like 12 clients. So it itemizes everything for every client, for every boost. It's very organized, and then it just taps my credit card once a month on anything that I boosted. But on the post, it's going to say, do you want to boost this? And this is like that Holly Charlie post that I just showed you. This is the other half of it. So this is the boost. And it's going to start with a maximum budget, or it usually says $40 where it says $5. I actually went up and selected $5 because Facebook is going to recommend that you spend more money when you don't have to. So at the top, it says audience, people who like your page, people who like your page and their friends, people you choose through targeting. 9 times out of 10, I'm going to go with the middle one, which is people who like your page and their friends. So this post is going to reach the people who it should already be reaching, but maybe aren't liking your stuff and they need a reminder. And then it's going to like any of their friends, which is awesome. So if I'm talking to people that have already liked downtown Fort Wayne, and I boost this, it's not only going to go into their feed, it's going to go into their friends' feed, and most people are friends with people in Fort Wayne. And maybe they just didn't know that downtown Fort Wayne had a page, and they're going to see it and they're going to like it. And it's kind of, in a crazy way, an awesome thing that has come along that is actually worth the money. I can't think of anything out there that is, I mean, you can do more with a few dollars on Facebook than you can do anywhere in the print world, in the advertising world, in the marketing world. It's crazy. Literally today, like, we have a full house because I put something on Facebook 2 times. I think I spent $7 boosting it total, and I put 2 things on Twitter that I retweeted through my clients. I never put anything on the DIDS Facebook. I did this all through my Facebook. So like, that just shows the power of it. Like, if I would have put this on the DIDS Facebook, we wouldn't have had room because I just know what happens when you put stuff on the DIDS Facebook. So let me get back to this. So, all right, I would recommend, if you have a post that you're putting out and it's not doing well, to try boosting it. Try it one time. The DID is the exception, and I'm going to get back to that in a minute, but give it it's going to require $5. It's not going to let you do anything less. The cool thing is that you can manipulate it after you select $5. It doesn't automatically like zing your credit card for $5. It recommends $5, so you hit that. And then below that, it says estimated reach. If you spend $5, this post is going to reach between 1,500 and 39 people. And then below that, it says, how long would you like this to go on for? You can select a day, 2 days, a week. Most of my clients, I will select 5 on posts that just aren't getting anywhere organically, and then I cut it off before $1. You'd be surprised what you can do with like 70 cents. Like, seriously, like, you can just kill it with 70 cents because you didn't get it organically necessarily, so you just needed that push. And then you have 10 people that see this, and then people in their network see it because of how Facebook is set up now. Have you noticed that, like, as opposed to 2 years ago, you'll see something in your newsfeed like, Stephen liked this page, or Stephen commented on this post, and it'll actually bring the post up even if you don't like that page. And that's what that does. I'll cut it at 70 cents, and then it has a life of its own, and You can keep your $4.30 and like go have a hamburger. Like I have really found that is the best way to do it. And also as a ray of hope, I just want to say that there is a way around this, and the DID has done it. I haven't done it with my other clients yet, but we've established so much with the DID that I never use boosts ever for the DID, like ever. I just don't have to, because it has become so powerful that people will naturally gravitate when you put something up, and that's what you want. If I can just get that hook like in the first hour where I just get a handful of people that'll like it, it'll just flow like through the networks naturally. So you might need to boost for a while, and if you can get your business up to a certain level, you really could taper off and not have to use it again. All right. Okay. Just another thing to keep in mind is that this is talking directly to your target audience. These people have chosen to like your business. You're not talking to somebody random on the street that you don't know where they're from, you don't know what their likes are, you don't know what they want to do. You're talking to somebody that has actively sought you out, liked your business, and said, I want to know more. So if you're putting a few bucks at this, you're talking directly to an audience that has already said, I like you. I like your stuff. I like what you're doing. So your return on investment for this is just, it's like a no-brainer. It's the best 70 cents you're going to spend. Yeah. Yeah, I'll go ahead and get into that now. So let me go back here. Okay, this is just me. You could probably Google and get a different answer, but this is what I've found over the last few years. Basically, Monday through Friday, 10 to 11 a.m. works, and it builds. 10 to 11 a.m. works. 1:30 to 4 p.m. works a little better than 10 to 11. And then 6:30 to 9 p.m. is gold. It's, if you had one time to post a day, that's when you want it to be. And that is the structured week, because you're dealing with just the average person of maybe they're a stay-at-home parent, but they have to take their kids off to school, and they have, or maybe they work all day, but they have a lunch break, or they get off at 5 and they're driving home. So you have to keep all these things in consideration. And then when they get home, they have dinner, but then there's this dead period where it's, what am I going to do with my night? So 10 to 11, followed by 1:30 to 4 p.m., followed by 6:30 to 9. The worst times that I found to post are before 7 a.m., the middle of the night, lunch times, between 4:30 and 6 p.m. on weekdays, and then as a golden rule, basically Friday evening and Saturday evening are going to be just, I feel so bad, like there's so much information that we have to push out on the DID, and sometimes I just don't have enough time, so you just have to keep pushing. And if I have to push something out on a Friday or a Saturday, I'm like, oh man, like, what's that? They're the worst times. If you want to see a post die a really slow, horrible death, put it up at 5 o'clock on a Friday, and pour yourself a drink, because you will just laugh. Like, the DID will get like 7 likes. It'll just be horrible. So, and the even worse time to post, I really wanted to bring this home, is never. I mean, don't not post because it's not one of these times. If it's midnight, or if it's 4 a.m. or whatever, and you aren't into scheduling posts and you need to get something out there, just do it. I mean, it's better to have it out there than to forget about it completely. And there's always exceptions. I'm always testing things with clients to learn their audience, to see when their audience is up. I've learned that, like with Downtown Fort Wayne, if we're talking about something with millennials or young people, or something, sometimes with like the arts community, if I post something at 11 o'clock at night, killer. Like, because they're up, it's college kids, they're young, they'll be up till like 3 in the morning, and I will have 100 likes in an hour. So some of this is just you kind of learning your audience. I mean, there's no right or wrong. It's just kind of figuring out what works for you. Okay, we're going to jump into Twitter. All right. So when I got on Twitter, I get this the most, is that people feel really intimidated a lot, especially people over a certain age. And when I got on it, I would say it was like a year before I really was like, what am I doing? I just kept going for it and hoping it would click, and it finally did. And I see, okay, let me run through these. Don't feel intimidated. Find your voice by being willing to make mistakes. Don't let people shame you. Twitter is not just for the younger demographic, especially anymore. Learn the art of 140 characters or less. And P.S. Twitter is free also. So when you get on, as long as your intentions are good and you're trying to put out a basic message, link it to your website, you really can't go wrong. I would just say take it slow and start connecting with people. You can like people, the businesses around you. So like John runs Visit Fort Wayne. Like when I need new people to follow from the DID or from any of my clients, like he's so good at like knowing when people come on Twitter. So like seriously, you don't know this, but I will jump on your Visit Fort Wayne and see who has Visit Fort Wayne started following in the last 3 weeks. And I'll be like, okay, they'd be good for this client. And I'll switch accounts. And I'll be like, these people would be good for this client. So you want to keep up, keep following new people. And I don't know if it's just me, but on Twitter, sometimes I see maybe a little bit of an attitude or a little bit of, you shouldn't be tweeting like this. You shouldn't be using these hashtags. You don't know what you're doing. If I see one more person tweet like this, I'm going to just let it go. Like, I guarantee you that whatever you're tweeting, nobody's thinking about it in an hour. It's not like Facebook. Like, it's just this constant stream of consciousness. So, awesome. Twitter is not for the younger demographics. So when I started doing Twitter for the DID, the role that the DID has played on Twitter has changed even in the last 2.5 years, because 2.5 years ago, half the people that are on Twitter downtown just weren't. So the DID was taking on the role of being like, you should go to this place for lunch because they're not on Twitter and you're never going to hear about it. So here's their menu and here's the photo and here's what's going on. And this place is selling, furniture, and they have a sale this week, and here's a photo of it, and you should check them out. So I felt like we were really doing double time, and now I love it. I'm seeing all these restaurants that are run by like 60-year-olds. I mean, like people that really, to get on Twitter is such a huge thing for them, and they're doing it. So don't be intimidated. Don't feel like this is just for kids. It's grown 1,000% in the last 2.5 years for what I'm seeing for people getting on Twitter for business. Okay, so Twitter profile. This is kind of similar to what I talked about with the Facebook profile. You want to have a high resolution cover photo, and you want to test it. And when I say test it, I mean if you have an iPhone or you have an iPad or you have a MacBook or a desktop, pull it up on all of them. Twitter's cover photos are a little tricky with their resolution, and they tend to, like when I did mine, I have a picture of my face on my Twitter profile, and it looked really cool, and I spent some time on it, and then I went to my iPad, and it was my shoulder, like my shoulder and a brick wall. So it's going to cut, and you just have to keep doing trial and error until you get what you want. But there is a way to get it so that it looks good on all of them. Have a profile photo that matches your other profiles on Facebook, Instagram, etc. That green and blue logo is the same one that you saw on Facebook, and it is the same one you'll see on Instagram and every other channel. You want it to be consistent. It's going to help you in the long run. When people see this on Twitter and maybe they're on Facebook tomorrow, they see that and they're like, oh, right, I saw that guy on Twitter, like we should follow him. Fill in your profile information, website URL, just like on Facebook. You want it to be clean, easy. The DID's mission statement is listed below with location, how long we've been on Twitter, and a direct address to the website. Okay. When it comes to tweeting, I would say post frequently. Don't worry about overdoing it. I think you can overdo it on Facebook, definitely, not on Twitter. If you want to go for it, go for it. Like if you have nothing to do all day and you want to tweet 1,200 times, go for it. It's a little less deliberate than Facebook. It's a little less, I don't know, I feel like you can get away with a little bit more on Twitter than you can on Facebook. Use photos often, not always. Think rectangle in terms of images and use the 600 pixel width. So what I will do sometimes is I'll find something I'm going to talk about. Say Kelly at House of Furniture is having a sale and she's got this great couch, and I stop by and I take a photo of it. And I send it to my desktop, I make it a square, I put it on Facebook. This is a couch, it's this much, stop and see Kelly, these are her hours today, link to her website, post. Then I take that image and I cut it down to a rectangle, which this is something you can do with basic picture editor on any PC or desktop. You don't have to have Photoshop. Crop it, hit save, and now you've got a nice shot of just the couch. Put that into Twitter. Nice little blurb with a link. And speaking of links, I use something called Bitly. Has anybody heard? I'm just kind of curious. Who's heard of Bitly here? Okay. Right. So let's go to downtownfortwayne.com. Okay. I'm going to copy and paste this and cut that link out. And then I'm going to go to bit.ly.com. Okay, this is completely free. You don't have to sign up. There's no membership. See up here on the right-hand side? You're going to paste that link, and it's automatically going to shorten it. Sorry, internet's a little slow. Let me try that again. Shorten. Okay, there's your link right here. So we're going to copy that. And if I paste that up here, see how small that is? And then I hit enter, and it's going to take you to your website. Botanical Conservatory, they're notorious for the longest URLs in the history of the universe. It'll be Botanical Conservatory /event/February /Santa's coming / and it's this long. If I were to put that in Twitter, you guys would kill me. So I put it in Bitly, I make it shorter, and then I put Bitly into the tweet so that when people click on it, they will go directly to where they need to go without it kind of consuming your tweet. Make it a two-way conversation, not a one-way trail of self-indulgence. If you go to the DIDS Twitter, you'll see hey, here's events that are coming out today. We have construction downtown. It's a beautiful day. Where are you eating for lunch? Me talking directly to you guys, me pushing out information, but then it's also me retweeting what's going on at the embassy, me retweeting what's going on at Botanical Conservatory, me pushing that message out, and then it is also Deli 620 is hey, we're having this soup for today, and I'll be wow, that picture looks so good, I'm gonna try to make it today, because when I do that, my public sees that, and they're wow, downtown Fort Wayne thought that soup looked good, that actually looks kind of good, maybe I should check that place out. So it's a 3-ring thing. You don't want to just talk. You don't want to just retweet, and you don't want to just have one-on-one conversation. I would say that any of those 3 things get annoying really quick, and people are going to pick up on it, and they're going to unfollow you. It's a nice even mix of what you do in your daily life. Think of what you do to keep your friendships going. You call, you talk, you listen, you give, you receive. Just take it into the digital world. Use hashtags correctly, or don't use them at all. So, oh man. Yeah, I see a lot of people having no idea what they're doing, and it's just kind of like watching a drunk 5th grader on Twitter. They're just, hashtag, today is great, I look so good in this red sweater. Hashtag, I'm having a good hair day. Hashtag, it's crazy. Hashtags, in my belief, should be used to bring people together. So if you have something in the corridor and you have an event that day, you would give it a hashtag, Wells FW, hashtag Wells FW, so that anybody that eats that day, goes downtown that day, does something that day, hangs out that day, goes to that event, no matter what they're talking about, even if they're just saying, I'm having lunch here, this is so pretty, taking a photo, check this place out, you need to go, they end it with that hashtag. So what you can do is if you search that hashtag, everybody that did something that day, you can see the entire conversation. You can see where they went, what they ate, what was cool, what was not cool, what people liked, what their conversations were about, and it all comes back to this one little thing.
How do you get that started?
Yeah, great. So blast it. Every 15 minutes, if you're going to have a thing, before it starts, and be hey, use this today, pound it into people's heads, because it's easy for people to forget, because it's a one-time thing, and then they're not going to use it tomorrow if it's for an event. So something that's really big for downtown is DTFW, and I really thought that through, because DTFW is downtown Fort Wayne, but it's also downtown Fort Worth, which is way bigger, but they haven't used it. And I put it out there enough people are using it downtown that Fort Worth would be stupid to touch it, because we're already so in that feed that anybody in Fort Worth that was trying to use it would see too much Fort Wayne stuff and it would be useless. So you want to check first. I would put the hashtag in the search and just click, and if nothing comes up, then it's yours.
So
Yeah.
the hashtag is your identity
Um,
on Twitter?
no, that is your handle. So the like the Asper sign is your handle, which is who you are. Which on that, I would say, okay, great. Fort Wayne Embassy, FW did, FW Coney Island is their handle. That's the name of their business. That's who they are. And then at the end of this, somebody could have put a hashtag like DTFW, because basically this is everything they're doing in downtown Fort Wayne. That would have been a perfect time to use it. I will say, if you haven't got on Twitter yet and you're thinking of starting, you want something that represents your business. FW Coney Island, that's so perfect, because it's Coney Island. Everybody knows the business. FW, everybody knows that's Fort Wayne. Bingo. They're not going to confuse that with Coney Island in New York. It's stuff like that. Okay, care about others, and they will care about you. If they aren't responsive, let them go. Don't delete them. Just don't hang on to them and expect to have a conversation from them. So the DID, like, we have a great relationship with Visit Fort Wayne. They retweet us. We retweet them. We talk online. We support their stuff. They support our stuff. People see that. They see the camaraderie. And then you have that with other people. And that's important. It's a two-way street. If you want people to retweet you and you've never retweeted anybody, why would they want to do that? Become people's allies before they even know who you are. Give them a reason to like you. It's kind of like just bringing an apple on the first day of school. Like, you just suck up to them a little bit. Let them know that you're here. Let them know that you want to help them, and then maybe one day they'll return the favor. Retweet important information from others to help earn loyalty to your brand. That's what I just talked about. And then search out keywords and people near you to bring people into your conversation. At the top of Twitter, there's a search function where you can search people, you can search phrases, you can search hashtags, handles. Okay, so I do this for Waiter on the Way. And a great thing that I do every day, which has been killer, is you'd be surprised how many people tweet about how hungry they are all day long, every day. I mean, I had no idea how starved people were in Fort Wayne. Like, everybody's hungry always. And so, like, starving, hungry, lunch, dinner, famished, those are words that I look for daily. I'll look them up under their handle, and then I will, from Waiter on the Way, directly in front of everybody, tweet them and be like, oh, you're hungry? Like, they'll send that 20 minutes before, and I'll be like, if you're still hungry, we have sushi, we have Mexican food, we can be there in an hour, here's the phone. That so works. Like, it's great. Like, every single day, people are calling in that wouldn't have called in because you're searching them out, actively looking for them. So if you're a furniture store and you have a couch for sale, get on Twitter and look for things that might pique people that are looking for you but don't know who you are. Furniture, antiques, shop local, just Fort Wayne in general. You never know, because somebody might be moving into town. That would be like somebody new to town. That's a perfect person. Look at them and be like, hey, if you're looking for furniture, come check us out. So engage them. And I would say half the time you'll get a follow out of that, which is great. Okay, moving on to Instagram. A photo is worth 1,000 words. This is as easy as point, click, post, and you're done. I mean, it's the no-brainer of social media. It's mobile. It's browser friendly. A lot of people don't know that you can actually view everything on Instagram from your browser. So whatever the handle is, you would just go to instagram.com/like FW did if you wanted to see downtown Fort Wayne online. And it's free and it's 24/7. Do not forget this. These are things that are working for you all the time. You can Instagram at 3 in the morning, and then when people wake up at 8 in the morning, they're thinking about you. So, yeah. Again, matching profile picture. It's the same blue and red logo. Include overview and information. It's the same mission statement of what downtown's doing, and then a link to the website. And as you'll see, like, just from looking at this, downtown Fort Wayne right now is talking about the Botanical Conservatory. Go to the gift shop, stop by the library and grab some books, stop by the Dash and have a salad, look at the new windows at the History Center. I can't see what that is. Go to Cindy's Diner. reindeer are going up downtown for Holiday Fest. Like, it's just a really fantastic way to keep people informed without having to go through too much information. I'll usually say something cute in like 4 words, like Santa's here, or, you know, just very basic. I don't do links on this. You don't have to worry about that on Instagram. They're not going to work. People would literally have to copy them and put them in their browser. It's not clickable. So just Instagram makes it easy. It'll make anything you take a picture of look good, which is fantastic. And if you are a small shop, you're a small business, you are selling an item, you have food, this is huge. I don't understand why people that have these businesses don't have Instagram, because seriously, every day I eat out all the time. And I go into the office and I'm doing my stuff, I'm going through my Instagram, I will see, you know, what somebody like Central City Cafe or whatnot has. Okay, that's where I'm going for lunch. Like, I don't want to see the menu. I don't necessarily want to see the price. I want to see this amazing sandwich that I want in my tummy. Like, it's that easy. People are connecting with you visually, and you'll make sales because of it. Decide on the intention of your Instagram before you take your first or next photo. Before I did this, I really thought through, okay, we're going to talk about downtown. We're going to make it cool. We're going to make it visual. We're going to make people want to be here. You'll see on a lot of mine that I rarely take a photo if it's an empty street. Like, I always make sure that I've got a biker, I've got people walking. I want it to be engaging. I want people to understand that there's life down here. I don't want to feed a bad image. I very consciously try to go in a circle and talk about every single business so that I'm not heavily hitting one and leaving out another. And it's kind. Like, I really try with all my social media to only talk about something good. I never talk about something bad. We don't talk about anything political. We don't talk about anything that's going to like stir the pot, because it'll turn into like News Channel 15 like that. Like, it would, and I would be up all night like monitoring comments, and people get crazy. Take photos regularly. That might be several times a day or several times a month. The DID is the type of client where I do it daily. I have other clients where maybe I do a handful a month, like maybe 2 a week. It just really depends on your audience. Just keep it consistent. If you're gonna not use it, then delete it. Don't have a Twitter account that's been sitting empty for 3 months. Don't have an Instagram account that's been sitting empty for 2 weeks. People will go, they'll see that it's dead, and they'll lose your respect, or vice versa. And if you're selling products or food, Instagram is your golden ticket. Just like I said, seriously, it'll bring in major dollars. Connection, follow other businesses. You can do that on Instagram. If you follow them, people are likely to follow you back. Use hashtags just like on Twitter, and tag others in your photo. Fort Wayne, that's like a really great one. I know it's basic, but we're not Chicago, so we're small enough that Fort Wayne actually means something. You can hashtag the crap out of Fort Wayne with no matter what you're doing, and it's a great way to just bring people that are looking for stuff to do in the city. I put that on a lot of Instagram photos. Shop local, like that's a good one. If you're a small business, people will actively look for that because they want to support that instead of Walmart. Yeah. So the DID in the last 2.5 years has grown from 1,080 people on Twitter to 7,250. And that is just by being consistent. Just be consistent, just care about it. The Facebook has grown from 6,900 to it's going to hit 21,000 today. And it's just consistency. I think the person before me was tweeting 4 times a week. I tweet about 4 times in 2 hours. So it's just staying consistent. I'm not posting once every 3 days. I'm posting 1 to 3 times a day on the DID, which is extreme. I do that because there's a lot of information. I would say most clients 1 a day, maybe 2. And then I had this opportunity to do something through Let's Give Allen County this year. I don't know if anybody was aware of that or gave to it, but they brought me on, and in 24 hours, well, actually 12 hours, we raised $100,000 for non-for-profits, and we did it completely through social media. And I did it completely through my clients and through the giving of the Allen County community. That was just Allen County. We didn't do any print. We didn't push it out anywhere on radio. It was completely and totally sat on social media. There were a couple websites that I linked back to, and that was it. And in 12 hours, $100,000, like that blew my mind. I had given them what I thought we could reach because I was given it a very short time before it was due. But social media is incredibly powerful. It's touching everybody 24/7, and there's no limit to what you can do with it. So I'm going to wrap there. That's it. Thanks for coming. I really appreciate it. If you guys want to take anything with you, you can. Thanks.